that again. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. You can sing along at home. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome to this amazing occasion. We are so happy to have you with us as we celebrate Mia and Asher Shafnos becoming B'nai Mitzvah today. They have worked very hard for this moment, learning and studying and writing and reading and digging into their Torah portion. And on any day, it would be a wonderful occasion to welcome them into Jewish adulthood, as we do at B'nai Mitzvah, and especially today, as we are doing this, as you may have noticed, a little differently than we might have anticipated a few months ago. And here we are, each of us from our homes. We have grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins joining us from their homes, all the way in Florida and here in Denver. We have all of you who are joining us wherever you may be in the world, from your homes and your computer screens. And what an amazing way to celebrate two really incredible young adults as they take their place in the Jewish community today. And so we begin, first of all, by introducing ourselves, in case you don't know who we are. I'm Rabbi Emily Hyatt. It's such a pleasure to see you all and to be with you. This is Cantor Elizabeth Sachs. She's on my this side, but she could be on your this side, so who knows? And so for us, this is a really beautiful moment, and you see Asher and Mia, you probably know them, and there will be a number of other people that are going to join us throughout this ceremony today. Okay, and as we begin our service this morning, we always begin our services in the same way, and that is with just a little bit of gratitude. We're just going to get ourselves ready to pray, and especially now that we're doing this virtually and being in this different paradigm of services, it's good to take stock and to be grateful so that we can be ready to pray. And so with that, we begin with gratitude for a number of things that we don't always remember to appreciate, for our physical selves, for our spiritual selves, and for our intellectual selves, that we have the brains, the bodies, and the souls and the spirits to be able to appreciate and engage in such an incredible and beautiful experience today. So we begin with the prayer, the blessing for our physical bodies, to say thank you. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yatzar et ha'adam bechokma, uvaravo nekavim chalulim chalulim. My God, I thank you for my life, body and soul. Help me to realize that I am someone new, someone who never existed before, someone original and unique in the world. May I be fully present to this awesome day. May my body and soul be ready to do your work, unifying and strengthening one another, linked and renewed daily by your breath. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar umafli la'asot. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh.
And now that we have given thanks for our physical selves, we connect that to our spiritual selves, that unique piece of the divine that lives inside us and that makes us who we are. And we do that by singing just one line of a prayer that says, God, the soul that you have given me is pure. And we remind ourselves of that every morning when we wake up. So the words are Elohai Neshama Shenatata Bi Tehorahi, and we're going to sing each word there 2 times. You'll catch on. It goes like this. That we do today, you should feel free to sing along. We are mostly going to be showing our faces, not the words, but if you want to yai lai lai, which is the Jewish equivalent of la la la, or if you just want to smile and sing along with what you know, we encourage you to do so. And I know that we cannot hear each other, but I am sure that Asher and Mia will feel your love coming through as you participate and in their service. Aloha.
So we have these physical selves that are working today. We have these spiritual selves which are feeling the emotion of today. And we have these brains in our heads that allow us to think and to learn. And Asher and Mia have a lot to teach us today. And so we read together, we say the blessing. You can, we're going to say the blessing over the study of Torah, over our ability to learn. And at the end of so many blessings, one of the ways that we participate is by having one person read the blessing today. Right now, that will be me. And then when we're done, everybody at home can say amen. And that makes you a part of that blessing as well. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. And we say together, amen. That means blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi Hyatt. And now that we have given thanks for our physical selves, for our spiritual selves, and for our intellectual selves, we are going to take all of that gratitude and combine it into the very last psalm in our Bible, Psalm 150. And it says, hallelujah, praise God, kol haneshama tehalelia, every breath praises God. It goes like this. Alleluia, 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 alleluia. One more time. Alleluia, 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 alleluia. Ol hanshama
we are a little warmed up, we've figured out what it means to be present in this moment. We've taken stock of our body and our soul and our minds, and we have we've gotten ourselves ready to pray. It is my great honor and pleasure to call Asher and Mia to lead us in prayer.
Or spiritually for the Barhu. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai. 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 Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai. 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 Baruchu et Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai, HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed. Le'olam Va'ed. Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai. 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 Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei hosheh, oseh shalom uvarei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit. Ma'rabu ma'aseha Adonai, kulam bechochma asita. Mal'ach ha'aretz kinyaneha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadeha. Ve'al me'orei or she'asita yafa'aruha selah, or hadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkeh kulanu mehera le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'me'orot. God, inspiration and guide for all. You have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear, in every land and every age. Your children have heard you, and yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity. We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully, we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel. And joyfully, we remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose. May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha V'chol levavcha, uv'chol nafshecha, uv'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh, asher anohi metzavha, hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha, v'divarta bam, v'shivtecha b'beitecha, uv'lechtecha b'derech, uv'shoftecha uv'kumecha, uv'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, uv'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'isharecha. Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, Yihitem kedoshim lelohehem. Ani Adonai Elohehem. Asher hotzeiti ethem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohehem. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mikamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilo osef ele, Nora tehilo osef ele. We continue with the tefillah. Rock of Israel, rise in support of Israel and redeem Judah and Israel as you promised. Our Redeemer, Adonai Tsebaot, is your name. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We continue with the tefillah. Please rise physically or spiritually. Adonai Sepatai Tifta Ufia Bitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Lekonei Hakol, Bezoher Hasdeavot ve'imaho, Umevi Gila Lifnei V'nehem, Leman Shemo Be'ava, Melech Hozer U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mehayeh hakol atah Rab le'oshia, Mori hatal, Mehalkel hayim bechesed, Mehayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofeh holim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, umasmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lehayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mehayeh hakol.
Nekadesh את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, כך כתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומכינו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. Okay to dance. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד.
To all generations, we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity, proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the Holy Sovereign. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Thank you for leading us in such beautiful prayer. We take a moment now for our own silent prayers, the prayers that are in our hearts and minds. And we pray silently. So we arrive now at our Torah service. We have done all of our preparation, our preparing for this moment and the warming up that we needed to do in order to be ready to read from the Torah and to hear the Torah read. But before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit about our Torah and our Torah service here at Temple Emanuel in Denver, because it's a really unique story, and it's one that is, for us, a framework of the beauty and value of the B'nai Mitzvah process. So if we were all together, we would be sitting in this chapel right here that you can see in front of you. And if we were all together and sitting in this chapel, I would walk to the ark, which is right in the middle of that picture, and I would open the ark and I would take out one of our Torahs. And I would hold that Torah and I would turn to tell you its story. So here's a little bit of its story as you're standing virtually in our chapel with us. So this Torah comes from a city that used to be in a country called Czechoslovakia. That's not a country anymore. And we know that there were Jews that lived in Czechoslovakia, and particularly in this city called Kolín, all the way back to the 1400s. And the Jews that lived in Kolín had lives that were much like the rest of the Jews in Europe. Sometimes they were really good, and sometimes things were not so good. They were a little bit harder. And it went on that way for centuries until everything really changed at the beginning of World War II. And so things really began to change in 1939 for the Jews of Kolín. And 1939 is when Hitler and the Nazis reached the border of Czechoslovakia. And when that happened, the Jews in Czechoslovakia as a whole began to find that they didn't have quite the same freedoms that they had had at the beginning of, or before that had happened. They began to lose the right to things like school and education and social opportunities, and then things got a little bit worse, and they lost the right to jobs and money, and then to food, and then to housing, and things got pretty bad. And in 1942, Hitler and the Nazis reached Kolín, and that's when things really turned. And in 1942, two things happened. The first thing that happened is, you see, Hitler and the Nazis were in the process of building what we would call a museum, I guess, to the Jews, but not the kind of museum that we go to today, where we appreciate and respect things that we get to see there, but the kind of museum that would be more of a tribute to this people that the Nazis had been able to get rid of. And so as the Nazis were moving through Europe, they were taking all of the pieces, the Judaica and the furniture that existed in all of these synagogues and Jewish communities, and they were storing them and housing them until they could build this museum as a tribute to a people that they were hoping would no longer be around to use them. And so all of the furniture and ritual items in the synagogue in Kolín were taken, and they were sent for Prague, where they were going to be stored. That's the first thing that happened. The second thing that happened in 1942 is that all of the Jewish people that lived in Kolín and around it were also sent away. They were sent to concentration camps. Now, our numbers are really fuzzy. We don't have a great idea exactly how many people this was, but as far as we know, there were approximately 420-ish Jews that were living in Kolín proper, and perhaps another 200 that were living outside Kolín in the smaller towns around it. And every one of them was sent to a concentration camp. And after the war, the best guess we have, I've seen a couple of different numbers, is that there were about 16 survivors. Now, I tell you all of this, but one crazy thing happened, which is that the furniture that was taken out of the chapel, out of the synagogue in Kolín, never made it to Prague, where it was supposed to be stored. Somehow, and we don't know how, it ended up in a basement of a synagogue in Zurich, Switzerland. And it stayed there until 1988, when we at Temple Emanuel here in Denver were in the process of redoing or building, actually, for the first time, our chapel. And Rabbi Stephen Foster, who is the Rabbi Emeritus of our congregation, was looking through a magazine and he saw an ad for this furniture. And he got on a plane and he went to Zurich. And he looked at that furniture and he bought it and he had it packed up and shipped home. So Sean, if you'll throw that slide up there one more time so that I can show everyone that you will see the ark, the big green ark right in the middle. That is one of the pieces, but right above it, there's a set of 10 commandments. And then above that, there's a parapet, which is the arch that's over the top. In the left, on your left corner, there is there's a Torah stand. Right next to it is a chair that is in Yiddish called a stender. It has a little table on front of it. There's two more of those that you can see on the right. And then in the back of our chapel, which you can't see right now, there is a candelabra and a chandelier. And those 9 pieces came from this synagogue in Colleen and were shipped to Denver so that we could build and dedicate our chapel. And at that moment, Rabbi Foster thought to himself, I wonder if there is a Torah from Colleen. And so he called the Westminster Synagogue in London, where 1,564 Torahs were sent after World War II. And it turned out there were 3 Torahs that came out of this ark in Colleen. 2 of them had already been placed in other congregations, and one of them was still in Westminster at that synagogue, and it came to Denver. And so, as you take one final look at this ark in this picture, in 1942, our Torah that we use and pass when we can be in our sanctuary came out of this Torah, 1942, Kolín, Czechoslovakia. And in 1988, we put that same Torah back in the same ark in Denver, Colorado. Because that is what we do. We value our tradition, we cherish it, and we find whatever way we can to pass it down from one generation to the next. And that's exactly what we're doing today with Asher and Mia and their sister Ella and their parents, Tara and Jason, and all 4 of their grandparents and aunts and uncles who are on this call with us, who you will see momentarily, are here to help us to pass down that tradition. And so we may not be physically passing the Torah today, but we are passing it from each of these generations down to Asher and Mia, who get to take possession of it today. And so it is my honor to call first Charlie and Sharon Shafnos, one set of grandparents, and then Joan and Ken Glassman, our second set of grandparents, and then to call Tara and Jason to verbally pass this tradition down in the form of a blessing for Asher and Mia.
Our hearts are one on this joyous day as you commit yourself to a life of Torah, a life, we pray, filled with wisdom, caring, and right action.
We pray that you will grow each day in compassion for the needy, in concern for the stranger, in love of all people.
May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Rachel and Leah, bless you on your becoming B'nai Mitzvah.
May you grow with strength and courage, with vision and sensitivity, and may you always be certain of our love. Amen.
Amen. And as we celebrate this beautiful chain of blessing, we sing this interpretation of what does it mean to pass our tradition down, Lador Vador, from one generation to another. We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. Ledor vador nagid God lecha. Ledor vador we
so much, everyone, for helping us to take our proverbial, our virtual Torah out of the Ark so that we can read from it. But before we do that, we are going to hear a little bit about the Torah. It's one of our great traditions at Temple Emanuel that we learn about the Torah before we read from it, and that's a really important part of what we do, because we don't know how many people have seen a Torah or have been a part of opportunity to read from it. And so I want to teach you a little bit about a Torah scroll. And so here is a Torah scroll for you to look at. So here's a couple of interesting things. A Torah is written on parchment. That means it's the skin of a kosher animal, and it's written by a scribe, a sofer or a soferet, who's basically a very highly trained calligrapher, a Hebrew letter calligrapher. And it takes approximately a year and a half to write one Torah. And that is because there are a lot of letters in the Torah, over 800,000 letters in the Torah, and every single one of them has to be exactly correct. And so the reason why it takes so long is because the scribe is meticulous. And you'll see in these letters, if you look at the screen that's up there, they have all kinds of crowns and decorations on them. So first, let me tell you, as the scribe is writing, one of the things that you would notice is that because every letter has to be correct, it's a big deal when the scribe makes a mistake. And so if there's a mistake made during the writing of the Torah, one of two things happens. If the ink is still wet, because it's written with a quill and ink, you have to like picture Harry Potter to like be able to see that. And the quill and ink, the ink is sort of like on top of the parchment as a bubble when it's wet. And then when it dries, it sinks into the parchment. So if the ink is still wet, it can be scraped off with a razor blade. And if that is where the mistake is, and it's not in a word that contains the name of God, then it can be scraped off. If the ink is dry or it contains the name of God, the mistake or the word does, then we wouldn't scrape it because it's either dry and it wouldn't work, or because we don't want to that feels to us not like a holy treatment of God's name. And so that section of the parchment would be taken out and buried in a Jewish cemetery. That's what we do with our holy texts when we're not using them anymore, and when we need to put them in a respectful place, we bury them. And so that's what would happen if a mistake was made. Now, if you look at these letters, what you'll see is some of them are longer than others. So if you look up at the top, you can see a couple of really long, stretched out letters. And you'll also see that out of the top of some of the letters come little crowns, like little antlers almost, and these beautiful decorations. So those exist, all of them, for two reasons. The first is because both in the length of the letters and in the crowns, there are deep mystical meanings that we can derive from them. So if a letter is elongated or a word is exceptionally beautiful or written special, perhaps there's something that we're supposed to look deeper and find in that word or in that letter. That's one reason. The second is because the crowns are beautiful, and this is not written on a computer, though we're on computers. And so the margins need to be justified, and sometimes the letters have to be stretched out to make them happen. So there's practical and also mystical reasons for this. Now, the last thing I'll tell you is that what you see in front of you on this picture is a piece of Torah text, and you also see a yad. That's the metal pointer that you see showing us the words. Asher and Mia have incredible yads that they're going to use for today. You will see them in a moment, I think, during their Torah reading. They were carved for them by their Pop Charlie, which is just so cool. And another way that we are passing down this tradition from one generation to the next is that they are following each of those words in the Torah because of their grandpa Charlie, and their grandpa Ken, also Pop Ken, was a big part of them practicing and rehearsing and writing their contributions for today and their speeches and the words they're going to share with you. And so we share this Torah because it's so precious to us, because it's been passed down from generation to generation. And so that yad helps us to protect it, right? The text itself is not treated in any way, the letters on that parchment. And so the yad keeps us from writing, from smearing the ink, or from getting whatever's dirty on our hands all over the parchment, and it keeps our Torah, that precious Torah, safe for us. And so with that, thank you for the slide. I am going to call up Asher and Mia, who are going to tell us a little bit about their Torah portion before they read for us from the Torah.
The Torah portion for this Shabbat is Emor, from the book of Leviticus.
In this Torah portion, God describes all of the rules for the ritual sacrifices commanded for each holiday.
I will be reading from chapter 23, verses 23 through 32, which discusses Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the high holy days.
I will then continue with chapter 23, verses 33 through 44, which discusses the holiday of Sukkot, our fall harvest festival.
Beautiful, thank you. So I just told you that the Torah is so special and the reading of it is so special, but there's actually two parts to a Torah reading. The first part is the reading of the text itself. That's the image of the text that you saw, and Asher is going to start for us, and then Mia will read in a little bit. But there's also the second part of the Torah reading, which is the blessing over the Torah itself. Now, the Torah that I showed you did not have any vowels or cantillation marks in it because it used to be that not everybody knew how to read. So we had a special Torah reader, and then we gave the honor of blessing the Torah to those who were important to us in our moments in life. And so today, in order to do that aliyah, to say the blessing over the Torah, we are going to call Beth, Rob, and Sydney Glassman, and Don, Scott, Noah, and Lila Singer, aunts, uncles, and cousins, who are going to say the blessing before and after Asher's first aliyah, his first Torah reading.
Okay. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el Bnei Israel lemor. B'chodesh HaShevi v'chad lachodesh. Yihye lahem Shabbaton Zechron Teruah Mikra Kodesh. Kol melechet avodah lo ta'asu v'hikravtem Isha l'Adonai. The Eternal One spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the Israelite people, thus, in the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall observe complete rest, a sacred occasion commemorated with loud blasts. You shall not work at your occupations, and you shall bring an offering by fire to the Eternal.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam natah b'tuhenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you guys. Great job.
Beautiful. Thank you to all of you for participating and being here with us for our second aliyah. If we were all together, we would make you hug, a lot of hugging, but we're not doing that right now. Plus, you guys are, I think, all in Florida. So we are going to air hug, virtual hug, and we're going to call Jason and Tara and Ella for our second aliyah to say the blessing over this Torah reading.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. בעשור לחודש השביעי הזה, יום הכיפורים הוא מקרא קודש יהיה להם, ועיניתם את נפשותיכם, והקרבתם איש אל אדוני, בכל מלאכה לא תעשו בעצם היום הזה, כי יום כיפורים הוא לכפר עליהם לפני Adonai Elohim. The Eternal One spoke to Moses, saying, Mark the 10th day of this 7th month is the Day of Atonement. It shall be a sacred occasion for you. You shall practice self-denial, and you shall bring an offering by fire to the Eternal. You shall do no work throughout that day, for it is a day of atonement, on which expiation is made on your behalf before the Eternal your God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We can make hug. Everybody give Asher a hug. So we have a really cool tradition now where we're going to have Asher's family stay, and we're actually going to call back onto the screen Charlie and Sharon and Joan and Ken, because this third aliyah is the aliyah, that's the Torah section, where Asher's going to say his own blessing. And actually, this is the moment of bar mitzvah, of us acknowledging bar mitzvah. It's not when Asher reads from the Torah. It's not when he leads us in prayer. It's not when he teaches us about his Torah portion. It's when he says his own blessing. It's when he has his own aliyah. And so we are all here with you on this screen so that we can hear Asher say the blessing over the Torah before he reads it. And so it is my great honor to call to the Torah for the very first time as a bar mitzvah, Asher Levi Daphnos.
Yamon habachur habar mitzvah, Asher Levi ben Yaakov Adam v'Tamara Miriam la'aliyah haTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ki chol hanefesh asher lo te'uneh be'etzem hayom hazeh v'nichrata me'yameha v'chol hanefesh asher ta'aseh kol melacha be'etzem hayom hazeh v'ha'avadti et hanefesh hahi mikerev amah kol melacha lo ta'asu kukat olam lo dorotehem behol moshotehem Shabbat Shabbaton hu lahem ve'initem et nafshotehem v'tish'a lachodesh ba'erev me'erev ad erev tishbetu Shabbathem. Indeed, any person who does not practice self-denial throughout that day shall be cut off from kin, and whoever does any work throughout that day, I will cause that person to perish from among the people. Do no work whatever, it is for all time, throughout the ages in all your settlements. It shall be a Sabbath of complete rest for you, and you shall practice self-denial on the 9th day of the month that evening. From evening to evening, you shall observe this your Sabbath. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Simen tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov and simen tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov and simen tov u'mazel tov and simen tov yelanu Yelanu, Yelanu, Ulechol Yisrael. Yelanu, Yelanu, Ulechol Yisrael. Mazel tov. I think everyone got a hug, right? Even Mia got a hug? Yeah, okay, good. Well, then we know that we've done a really important Siman Tov and Mazel tov. Beautiful job, Asher.
I saw it happen. I was watching. Great job. Such a beautiful Torah reading for us. We're going to take a moment now before we switch and have Mia read for us from the Torah. We take a pause as we always do during the Torah service. This is a really holy thing that we are doing. We're reading from this ancient scroll through which we have passed our tradition down. And so this is a spiritually elevating moment. And our tradition tells us we should use the holiness of this moment in order to say a prayer for those who are in need of healing. And so that is what we do. We say the Misha Berach prayer, our prayer for healing. And this song, this prayer has 2 verses, this version. And in between 2 verses, we will take a moment to read a list of those in our congregation that we know of that are in need of healing. And I will invite you to share also the names of those in your lives that you would like to pray for as well. And so we join together in the words for healing. Today, we are praying for Zachary Hoffman, David Karner, Larry Singer, David Lustig, Marcia Richter, Martin Indick, Karen Trevithick, Kara Glascoder, Paul Kamensky, Dr. Catherine McCallie, James Francis Clark, Michael Levy, Natalie Mosier, Corey Franklin, Julie Borodkin, Andy Friedman, Rabbi Jonathan Brown, Naveed Gill, Julie Horwich, Margaret Glubach, Shanti Hazan, Terry Dufresne, Gloria Trotsky, Harriet Saper, Robert Tucker, Sandra Heller, Jennifer Brynan, Lynn Pollitt, Sarah Ellen McIntyre, Neil Levin, Erwin Chaim, Arthur Gilbert, Wendy Weil, Estelle Goddesfeld, Lois Darnell, and Dr. Howard Miller. If there are others that you are praying for today, I encourage you, feel free to type them into the comments box, put them out, say them out loud, put those names out into the world for us so that we can all pray together for those that are in need of that healing. And of course, as we have for every service, we are going to pray for all of those who are on the front lines right now, all of those who are medical professionals and first responders and essential workers. We're so grateful for their sacrifice for us. And so we say, Baruch atah Adonai makor ha-refuah, blessed are you, Adonai, the source of all healing. And so it is with all of those in mind that we turn now back to our Torah reading, and this time to Mia, who is going to share with us her words of Torah that she has been studying and learning so long. And for our first Aliyah, we called to the Torah all four of her grandparents, Charlie and Sharon and Joan and Ken, who are going to say the blessing over her Torah reading now.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el bnei Israel lemor. B'chamisha asar yom lachodesh hashavi'i hazeh har chasukot shivat yamim l'Adonai. Bayom harishon mikra kodesh kol meleche avodah lo ta'asu. Shivat yamim takrivu ishel l'Adonai bayom hashemini mikra kodesh yihye lachem v'hikravtem ishel l'Adonai atzeret hi kol meleche avodah lo ta'asu. The Eternal One spoke to Moses, saying, Say to the Israelite people, on the 15th day of this 7th month, there shall be the Feast of Booths, the Eternal, to last 7 days. The first day shall be a sacred occasion. You shall not work at your occupations. 7 days you shall bring offerings by fire to the Eternal. On the 8th day you shall observe a sacred occasion and bring an offering by fire to the Eternal. It is a solemn gathering. You shall not work at your occupations.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Beautiful. Thank you, grandparents, for that. And we invite now back into the screen Jason and Tara and Ella for your second Aliyah.
There you are.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Elech moadei Adonai, asher tikru tam mikrae kodesh lehakriv isheh l'Adonai olah umincha zevach umsahim devar yom beyomo milvad shabbaton Adonai umilvad matnotehem umilvad kol nidrehem umilvad kol mibotehem asher titnu l'Adonai b'chamisha asar yom lachodesh hashavi'i v'ospechem et tevuah haaretz tachagu et hag Adonai shivat yamim bayom harishon shabbaton v'bar yom hashmini shabbaton. Those are the set times of the Eternal that you shall celebrate as sacred occasions, bringing offerings by fire to the Eternal, burnt offerings, meal offerings, sacrifices, and libations, on each day what is proper to it. Apart from the Sabbaths of the Eternal, and apart from your gifts, and from all your votive offerings, and from all your free will offerings that you give to the Eternal. Mark on the 15th day of the 7th month When you have gathered in the yield of your land, you shall observe the festival of the Eternal 7 days, a complete rest on the first day and a complete rest on the 8th day.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
And we come now to Mia's bat mitzvah aliyah. So Asher, come on back in there so that we can all be here and be present for this moment. Where we recognize Mia becoming bat mitzvah today and saying her own blessing over her own Torah reading. And so with that, it is my great honor to call Mia Lily Shafnos to the Torah as a bat mitzvah for the very first time.
Amod habachura bat mitzvah, Minka bat Yaakov Adam v'Tamar Miriam, La'aliyah haTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ulkachtem lachem bayom harishon peri eitz hadar kapot temarim va'anaf eitz avot ve'arvenacha usmachtem lifnei Adonai Eloheihem shivat yamim v'hagotem oto hag Adonai shivat yamim bashana Hukat olam lidorotehem b'chodesh hashevi'i tachavuoto basukot teshvu shivat yamim kol ha'ezrach ve'Yisrael yeshvu basukot leman yedu dorotehem ki basukot hoshafti et b'nei Israel Behotzi'i otam me'eretz Mitzrayim, ani Adonai Eloheihem. Vaydaber Moshe et moadei Adonai el b'nei Yisrael. On the first day you shall take the product of hadar trees, branches of palm trees, boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before the Eternal your God 7 days. You shall observe it as a festival of the Eternal for 7 days in the year. You shall observe it in the 7th month as a law for all time throughout the ages. You shall live in booths 7 days. All citizens in Israel shall live in booths, in order that future generations may know that I made the Israelite people live in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I, the Eternal, your God. So Moses declared to the Israelites the set times of the Eternal. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Here we go. Simin tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simin tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simin tov and mazel tov and simin tov. Yeilanu. Great job, everybody.
Mazel tov. Everybody hugged? I wasn't watching as carefully. Did we do? Okay, great. Just checking. I mean, you have to get the hugs where you can get them when we're in quarantine. So really, you guys, that was marvelous and beautiful. Your Torah reading, so gorgeous. We are going to transition now into our Haftorah reading. And so we're going to do a little stage reset for a second and get ourselves ready for that. The Haftorah is a part of our tradition that probably we think most likely began back when we weren't necessarily allowed to publicly read Torah. And so we read from the book of prophets, an additional piece of text. And so as we get Asher and Mia situated in their screen so that they can read the blessings over the Haftorah for us and then read from their Haftorah section, we prepare to listen. You guys ready over there?
Almost.
Almost. I know it's a big, usually we put the Torah away so you have like a second to breathe here. Take your time and get yourselves oriented.
The Haftorah for this Shabbat is from Ezekiel chapter 44, verses 15 through 24.
Similar to the Torah portion, which describes the priestly duties for the holidays, this Haftarah explains the status, practices, and privileges of the priesthood.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratzah v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'Moshe abdo u'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'ei ha'emet b'tzedek. V'hakohanim halevim b'nei tzadok asher shamru et mishmeret mikdashi bit'o b'nei Yisrael me'alai hema yikrevu elai Lesharteni ve'amdu lefanai lehakriv li chelev vadam neum Adonai Elohim hema yavo el mikdashi ve'hema yikrevu el shulchani lesharteni Shamru et mishmarti v'haya v'voam el sha'arei hechatzer hapnimit bigdei fishtim yilbashu v'lo ya'alei alehem temer v'shartam v'sha'arei hechatzer hapnimit v'avaita Pa'arei fishtim yihyu al rosham u'michnasei fishtim yihyu al lonehem lo yachkeru bayaza u'bseitam el hechatzer hahitzonah el hechatzer hahitzonah Elham Yishetu et bigdehem Asher Hema Meshartim Bam Vehinihu Otam Velishchot HaKodesh Velavshu Begadim HaHerim Velo Yekadshu Et Ham Bevigdehem. Now the Levitical priests who are descendants of Zadok faithfully kept charge of my sanctuary when the people of Israel were unfaithful to me. They may come near to me and serve me by offering me the fat and blood of sacrifices, says the sovereign God. They alone may enter my sanctuary and draw near to my table to serve me and keep my charge. They must wear linen clothing when they come through the gates to the inner courtyard, and wear nothing woolen when they serve in the gates of the inner courtyard or in the temple. Let them wear linen turbans and trousers, but nothing that makes them sweat. And when they go to the outer courtyard where the people are, They must take off the clothing in which they serve, leaving them in the holy chambers. They must then put on the other garments so that they do not make the people holy through the touch of their garments.
Verosham lo yegalehu, ufera lo yishalehu, kason yisamo et rashehem, veyayin lo yishu kol kohen, bevawam el hehatzer habenimi, ve'almana ugrusha lo yichu lahem lenashim, ki im betulo mizera beit Israel ve'ha'almana asher tihye almana mikohen yikahu ve'tami yoru ve'in kodesh lechol uvein tamei letachor yodim ve'al riv hema ya'amdu lemishpat ve'mishpatai yishpetu ve'torotai ve'hukotai ve'chol moadai yishmoru ve'chaptotai yekadeshu. They are not to shave their heads, nor let their hair grow too long. They are only to trim their hair. No priest may drink wine before entering the inner courtyard. They must not marry widowed or divorced women. They may marry only Israelite virgins or the widows of priests. They are to teach my people the difference between the holy and the common, and let them know how to tell the pure from the impure. When there are disputes, they are to be the judges, and in judging, they are to follow my laws of justice. On all my religious festivals, they are to carry out my teachings and my laws, and they are to keep my Sabbaths holy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik behol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, hamdaber u'mkayim, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'linucha, lechavod u'tifaret. Al hakol, Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, umvarhim otach, yitbarach shimcha befi kol hai, tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Hu Urech Shemo.
Mekashabat.
Amen. Great job, you guys. That was beautiful. Thank you. As we conclude our Torah and Haftorah reading, we are putting our virtual Torah back in the ark right now and closing out this part of our service where we read from the Torah and from the text of our tradition, and we move into a space where we're going to learn a little bit more about those texts, and Asher and Mia are going to teach us about their Torah portion, about the lessons that they learned and what they've extracted from it. And so I'm going to invite Mia to start with her Devar Torah and giving us some words of her own creation.
Shabbat Shalom. My Parsha Emor from the book of Leviticus relates what is said to have taken place in a portable sanctuary at the center of the Israelite camp. God has given Moses instructions to be conveyed to the people of Israel. The instructions in this Parsha regulate the lives of priests who preside over the sanctuary and its sacrificial offerings. This Torah portion presents and outlines the calendar of celebrations, including the Sabbath, Pesach, Shavuot, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. Towards the end, the laws on profanity and murder and the concept of compensation for physical harm inflicted by one person upon another are discussed. For my Devar Torah, I chose to look deeper into the way in which people are told the holidays are to be celebrated. In the text, we are taught how to celebrate, when to celebrate, and what we need in order to celebrate the holidays. Typically, holidays are a time where you can be with your family and friends, attend services, and learn about our Jewish history. In my home, we celebrated by making traditional foods and by going to services. One tradition that I look forward to every year is going to the bagel deli after high holiday services. This makes me feel happy because I enjoy it and it is always so much fun. Now, we are faced with a very different time due to COVID-19. Many of our traditions must look different due to the restrictions of gathering. However, we must recognize the holidays and continue to learn from our history rather than focus on all that is different. It is important to find holiness in the here and now. There are many things that we can do in our homes to acknowledge Shabbat on a weekly basis, as well as any other holiday that we celebrate throughout this time period. During this time in quarantine, we recently celebrated Passover. Passover celebrates the freedom of Jews from slavery. This year, Passover looked very different. While last year we hosted many of our friends, this year is just my immediate family. We were able to Zoom with the people that we love to create a sense of togetherness. I enjoyed the extra time that we had to make our favorite dishes from scratch and truly embrace the Seder. This was a memorable and special holiday and the first during quarantine. I learned during this time of distancing that life may look and feel different, but our traditions continue. The Jewish value, holiness, Kedusha, means a state of being holy. To me, Kedusha means to preserve the sacred, distinct traditions of Judaism. At a time where our lives could potentially have no structure, I feel grateful for our opportunities to come together. I'm feeling more connected than ever to my family. On a normal week, my family is very busy with work, school, and sports. Now we are in a time where we are forced to slow down and pause. I've tapped into my love of painting, and I have used it to stay busy, to create sidewalk art with my sister, and to turn my work into thank you cards for the ICU nurses and staff at St. Joe's. I've found ways to stay connected with friends, and my time with my family has been so special. In the Torah, it says all the things we need to do and all the instructions to celebrate the holidays. It's important that we keep doing these traditions during the holidays, especially during these tough times. For all of these reasons, this has been a holy and meaningful time to me. That brings me to today. When I first realized that I wasn't going to be able to have my service in the temple, I was a little disappointed. Wait, that's an understatement. I cried. I was thinking how I won't be able to see my friends and family sitting in the temple listening to me. Now I have realized that traditions and milestones can and should still happen. I've been looking forward to this day for years. After several conversations with my parents, we came to the conclusion that the future is not promised. It is important to live for today, no matter what that looks like. I was initially sad because my vision of how this was supposed to look was very different. I was crushed when I thought about an empty room and not having my extended family and friends to hug me when I'm done. Now I know I'm surrounded by their love. I recognize that today I have become a bat mitzvah, and it is equally as exciting, special, and meaningful. I'm grateful for my friends and family for being with us today, no matter what that looks like. Beyond how quarantine life has affected me, I have realized that this has affected the world. This has been a stressful and scary time for those impacted by the virus, for those who are homeless, and those who have lost their jobs, and people just like me whose daily lives have been altered. I've had time to think and learn about all the people who are struggling with this new reality. For my Mitzvah project, I plan to donate supplies, food, and money to the homeless shelter, Sacred Heart House of Denver. I chose to donate to this organization because I researched and learned about it during my service project last year at school. It helps single moms and children achieve and maintain self-sufficiency. This organization has continued to stand out in my mind, and I feel that this is a great program to support during this time. I invite you to join me with my Mitzvah project or think about how you can help and contribute in your own communities to help make a difference. There are a few people that I would like to thank. Mom, thank you so much for always being a role model to me. You are my biggest supporter, and I love knowing that you are always there to cheer me on and build me up. You have taught me how to support and love others with my whole heart. Dad, Thank you for bringing humor into our daily lives. I love how you share your compassion and stories from work with us. You've taught me how to live well. Ella, thank you for always being there for me and showing me the way. Our time together, especially during quarantine, is so special to me. I love you. Asher, you are my best friend. I feel lucky to have you as my brother. I am grateful to accomplish this milestone with you. Cantor Sachs, thank you for making me feel confident, supported, organized, and ready for this day. Rabbi Hyatt, thank you for helping me with my Devar Torah. You helped me look deeper into the text. I'm grateful for your support. Okay, I will now conclude with the prayer of thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehachianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu latzman hazeh. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this season. Amen.
Amen. Beautiful, beautiful words. Thank you, Mia, so much for sharing those with us. And we'll trade you out for Asher as he gets ready to share with us his words of Torah, and we can continue our learning.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom. Towards the end of our parsha, the text recounts a fight that broke out in the camp, which leads to a clarification of laws on blasphemy and on pronouncing God's name. Our parsha concludes with laws on profanity, murder, and the maiming of others. The rabbis spend a lot of time working to interpret a concept we see in this parsha. One of the concepts the rabbis work to interpret is midah keneged midah, also known as measure for measure. Those rabbis ask, do we use the literal interpretation of our text? If you poke out someone else's eye, you get your eye poked out? On the other hand, some scholars like Nehama Leibowitz said that we are talking about monetary compensation instead of physical retaliation. What is owed is the value of the eye lost, not another eye itself. I'm in agreement with Nehama Leibowitz. She teaches that a human body is not just an ordinary machine that can be discarded, since it is the house of a human soul and a gift from God. And to me, this means that we can't just go around hurting others. Our bodies are too holy for that, so we have to think more carefully about how to handle the situation. 3 times within the Torah, we find a formulation that deals with compensation for physical harm inflicted by one person upon another. In Parsha and more, we are told, if anyone kills any human being, that person shall be put to death. My interpretation of this passage is that our actions have consequence. But I have been taught that 2 wrongs don't make a right, and I think that the infliction of violence upon another person for any reason is unacceptable. The Jewish value pikuach nefesh teaches us that the obligation to preserve human life comes first, overriding other commandments. My interpretation of the Torah is that although rules and consequences are important, life for life is not acceptable in our society. However, I do believe that those rules and consequences are necessary. Rules exist to keep order in society. When a crime takes place, we have a justice system to determine the penalty of the wrongdoer. Therefore, I believe that the purpose of this system is to help us learn from our mistakes and to understand the weight of our actions. Even if you don't lose your own eye, knowing that there is a consequence equal to the value of an eye perhaps would stop us from doing something that would put someone else at risk. This really resonates with me because as I get older, my desire to do the right thing increases dramatically. As I become an adult in the Jewish community, I know that I have to live by the values that have been instilled in me. In my own life, I'm motivated to do the right thing because of my own morals. I have a hard time when I don't live up to others' expectations, mostly because I feel disappointed in myself. This is reflected in my relationships with my family, friends, teachers, and coaches. Of course, there are times when I can be challenging, but my intention is never to hurt another person. There are times in our lives where we witness other people not living up to the same standards that we hold for ourselves, which can be difficult because doing the right thing and learning from our mistakes is ultimately our own personal responsibility. In many communities across America, including Denver, there are citizens protesting the stay-at-home and distancing orders of local and state governments. The recommendations of the stay-at-home order were initiated by scientists and doctors in an attempt to protect the health and lives of our families and friends. Every day, at the same time as some are protesting, there are doctors, nurses, technicians, and paramedics working tirelessly at their own risk to comfort and heal the sick. These heroes assist all who need care and do not discriminate. Medical professionals aren't asking whether you deserve to be healed or not, whether you've put yourself at risk or have been one of the people protesting. Their efforts are pikuach nefesh in action and deed. They are heroes, and their example is an important lesson for me and for all of us. Perhaps in a world where we practice the literal meaning of an eye for an eye, those that protested protecting themselves from the virus wouldn't deserve or earn treatment. But that isn't the world we have built, nor is it what I believe. We can only hope that we all are given the opportunity to learn from our mistakes. The past 2 months have been a painful and stressful time for so many. I believe it is important for each of us in our own way to do our part for the greater good for our families, friends, and neighbors. It is more important than ever to live a life of example, courage, and charity rather than inflicting violence on others. This is an important time to come together with a united purpose of healing. I would like to thank a few people that have helped me reach this milestone. Mom, thanks for always listening, even if it's about soccer plays and math equations. You teach me compassion and to always do my best. Dad, thanks for being my role model. I look up to you in all that you do, and I hope that I always make you proud. I love our time together when you are home. Ella, thank you for always baking the good stuff and always helping me with my math obsession. Mia, I'm so happy that I didn't have to do this alone. I'm lucky to always have someone in my corner that understands me. And Cantor Sachs. Thank you for your help preparing and supporting us today and every day leading up to it. And Rabbi Hyatt, thank you for challenging me to understand my parsha and helping me to clearly share my thoughts. I will now conclude with a prayer of thanks. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this season. Amen.
Amen. Fabulous job, Asher. Really, really beautiful words of Torah. And I'm going to invite Mia to come sit back down next to you. You guys can take a deep breath. Whew. Now comes the part where you just have to smile for a really long time, while lots of people are going to say really nice things to the both of you because you have been absolutely amazing. So that's nice. Sit close to each other. You can smile. You can play with your hair now if you want to. Very nicely done, Asher. You can drink some water. Usually at this point in the service, it is my privilege and pleasure to come and bring you gifts from the synagogue. And we will be bringing you gifts. Not exactly sure when those are all going to be up and running again, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about what they are. And the reason that we do that, the reason that we give gifts, not only is it a mitzvah, a commandment in the Jewish tradition to celebrate, it is a commandment to party and to make a big deal about the two of you. So that is one of the reasons that we bring gifts, but also it's a blessing for the congregation every time two young people like yourselves become bar and bat mitzvah for the congregation. It is something that enriches our community. And so we are excited about that. And we want to shower you with gifts because of it. So here are some of the things that you will be excited to receive. You will receive your teudat bar or bat mitzvah, your bar bat mitzvah certificate, which will have your names and the date on which you became bar or bat mitzvah, and your Hebrew names on them and your portion, just so that you can remember this day in a beautiful way. Similar to the giving of gifts, this idea that we make things that are important to us really, really pretty. So that's number one. Number two, we will be giving you financial gift toward travel to Israel hopefully, God willing, someday that will be something that will be an easy thing to imagine that we can do, to travel to Israel together. And we hope that you will consider joining us on our Israel study tour from Denver. We also have planted a tree in Israel in honor of your B'nai Mitzvah, which is really a big mitzvah right now as they continue to heal and replenish their country. And we have gifts from the Brotherhood and Sisterhood, a Kiddush cup and a mezuzah, both things for each of you that you can use to continue to have a Jewish home. And we have a book from the clergy that is a Torah commentary for teens called Text Messages. And on the inside front cover, each of us has written a note to each of you. 2 books, 2 of everything. I'm sure that has been a theme in your house for a very long time. 2 of everything, yes. So that just saying how much we've enjoyed working with you. So very quickly, it has been such a pleasure to work with the 2 of you toward this day. I know this is not what we originally imagined this to be. And I know that there has been a lot of reshifting and shuffling and reimagining as we kind of got comfortable in what this would look like. But something that we remind ourselves a lot right now is that in times of trouble, our character really rises to the surface. And the strength that is inside both of you, each of you, has really come out in a profound way. One of the things I have always appreciated about learning with the 2 of you is that you have the ability to be so silly, right? Appropriately silly, funny and witty and giggly and have a great time with your friends. And you also have the ability to be extraordinarily mature and profound and dedicated and motivated. I think we saw both of those things today. You got to be fun and have fun, and you taught us some really serious Torah. So thank you. Thank you for everything that you brought here today. I really cannot wait to keep learning with each of you and both of you as you continue through our process. Mazel tov, and have a great time for the rest of your day. So it is now my privilege and pleasure to call your parents to sit next to you and say some beautiful words to you as well. Okay. Situate yourselves, all good. Get yourselves comfortable. There you go.
Mazel tov to both of you. You're amazing. Before we focus on our words with you, we wanted to take a moment to just thank the clergy, Rabbi Hyatt, Cantor, Steve Brodsky, and Sean Wall, for all the time, effort, organization, patience that was required to make this day happen. We are also so thankful to our family for joining us on Zoom and our extended family and friends for joining us on Facebook. Your virtual presence has made us feel connected and loved as we celebrate the Simcha for Asher and Mia. Thank you all. We're so proud of you both. I'm overwhelmed emotionally. No surprise. Because today is a special day. You are now seen as adults in the Jewish community, and I have witnessed all the work and dedication you have put in to reach this milestone. As a parent, our goal for you is to be good people. So when you're actually leaving the house to go to school each morning, imagine that. As you'd get out of the car, I'd say, be great, be good to each other. And it sounds so lighthearted, but it holds so much meaning.
It's okay.
You're both amazing people. And I would say that your relationship with each other is one of the greatest gifts to me and your dad. I'll be okay. Okay. As you both spoke in your Divrei Torah, you express how different our lives are right now. Today is your B'nai Mitzvah, a day we dreamed about, a day where we planned for you to lead from the Bima and read from the Torah. We expected to host all of our family and friends for an unforgettable weekend, but that is just not the case. You have been forced to learn that life doesn't always go as planned. In addition, you have learned to look beyond yourselves, to understand how deeply the world has been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Over the past several weeks, we have been on an emotional roller coaster to get to this day. We have been challenged with shifting to a new normal and coming to terms with the fact that although this isn't how we planned it, it is real and complete. I trust that you will always remember this, and it will serve to build your resilience and ability to cope with life obstacles in the future. Regardless of the circumstances, you're indeed surrounded by so much love. In your case, you are not only becoming adults in the Jewish community, but you have taken on a huge learning experience. I hope you see that even in life's disappointments, there is so much beauty. Mia, you are my social butterfly. You love to be around people, so when you chose to talk about the Jewish holidays and the holiness in the planning and preparations, it was so very fitting. You shared your love of being together and helping to set up and enjoying all of the traditional foods. This is also true of the way you honor your Jewish life and how you carry yourself each day. I'd say that you and your sister have made sure that we don't miss a beat during this time of distancing. We are living in a time where it could be easy to get lost in the days, but you recognize that the structure of special days creates so much goodness. So whether it was Passover, a camp out, a movie night, the most beautiful tea party, or our family dinners, you are the first to help pull it off. We love this about you. You are full of love and kindness, and you thrive on bringing us all together. You are so giving. You are always thinking of others and often spend your time planning, creating, and making sure that everyone is showered by your love. You are such a sweet daughter, sister, and friend. Asher, you chose to focus on the concept of an eye for an eye from your parsha. You were immediately intrigued and provoked to look deeper at the text. This was very fitting for you, as we know how heavy you carry the weight of your world. It is hard for you to imagine living out in such a violent way, and this is because you are goodness all the way to your core. In fact, when discussing the text in our meeting with Rabbi Hyatt, she asked about the consequences in our house, and my first thought was that it's tricky with you, because you're so hard on yourself. We love your integrity and your desire to do no harm. We often talk to you about being easier on yourself and lightening your load. Whether you are focused on your grades, a math problem, or playing your heart out on the soccer field, you are committed to doing and being your best, but never at the cost of others. You are even worried that the wording of your devar might sound boastful, and so you, just like your dad, are so very humble. Asher and Mia, we're so proud of you today and every day. I hope that you have learned that your role in our family and in this world is an important one. Your small acts of kindness go well beyond our family circle. By living by the Jewish values, you're making an impact on everyone you interact with. We do have high expectations for both of you, and you always manage to surpass and amaze us. We hope you always feel as supported, loved, and proud of yourselves as you do in this moment. We love you.
Too.
Am I supposed to go? Okay. No, I like being off. It's about how involved I am and everything.
Stop.
So, well, Tara's was 4.5 pages. Mine's 1, but I single spaced. So, well, you two, the day has finally arrived. Not exactly what we had planned, but seeing light in the dark is something Jews have done for centuries, and you two have embraced this with vigor. Almost 13 years ago, I was in shock, happy, scared, everything you could imagine hearing that we were having twins and adding 2 more to our growing family. How are your mom and I going to do this? Or more specifically, how is your mom going to do this as I wasn't really around to help? Thankfully, she likes challenges, and after having a rough month or so, the 2 of you have been nothing but a joy in our lives. Having twins is odd. You 2 are so connected and often grouped together, yet you both are so different. Together, but definitely not the same. Mia, you came out second, but you get to go first. You're a breath of fresh air and have a lightness in you, a glow that comes out in everything you do. You see the best in people and strive to be inclusive. I feel like I'm Tara. Strive to be inclusive and loving to anyone you meet. You have all the parts I wish I had, but definitely don't. Probably your mother's DNA. You are smart, strong, kind, and loving, and have become an amazing young woman. You're an incredible sister, daughter, and friend, and everyone who meets you knows it the minute they get to know you. Never change. Asher, ladies first, my mini-me, unfortunately. You'll end up okay, I promise. Every day I look at you and I'm more amazed at the man you're becoming. Whether it is school, soccer, video games, friendships, you approach each with a desire to succeed, to be the best, although we don't ask or wish for it. You are your own greatest coach and sometimes detractor, and it pushes you to be better next time. You're an extraordinarily hard worker, and your intensity and desire to succeed will take you far. Just don't be too hard on yourself. Live a little. You are curious, intelligent, and loving. All three are more important than winning. Remember that, and the world is your oyster. You two amaze us every day. I think we learn more from you both than you from us. You make Mom and I so proud. As you now reach Jewish adulthood, remember to be kind, see the light in the dark, and take care of each other.
That was really good.
You guys, that was so beautiful. Everybody take a deep breath. Good job. Thank you for sharing those beautiful words with us and the blessings that you have for your kids. And so Tara and Jason, you guys can take a second. Don't go very far because you're going to come right back in a second. But Mia and Asher, make sure you can see on the screen. And I get a chance to give you a little bit of a blessing also. And you guys, I've talked a lot to you and said a lot of things over the last couple of weeks, but there's something that you talked about in your portion today, and actually it came up both in your Torah portion, though it wasn't the part that either of you talked about, and you mentioned it a little bit in your Haftorah, and it's about the holiness of the priests. And the priests have all these different standards that they're held to. The whole first half of the parsha is about the things that they're not allowed to do so that they can continue to be priests. And those rules are kind of intense. They're not allowed to touch dead bodies, and they're not allowed to marry certain people, and they're not allowed to do all kinds of things. And it's kind of a weird bunch of rules and regulations. But one of the commentaries that I read about it that I don't know, it stuck with me, is that the priests are living their lives differently than everybody else. The rest of us are trying to attain holiness, right? We're searching around trying to find it. And everything that we do is in an effort for us to find holiness and to be a little holier than we are. And the priests live their lives because they're trying to maintain holiness. They're trying to continue to be holy. And they're at a certain level of holiness, and they don't want to lose it. And those are actually two really different goals, right? One of those requires you to try to be something, and the other one tries you to try not to do something. And the reason that comes up for me is because in a way that I find amazing and sort of baffling, and maybe I just missed it. Like Mia said, she cried when she heard that this was going to be the way that your B'nai Mitzvah is going to go. And so I didn't get to see the really hard part. But you guys have been at the peak of holiness throughout this. And when we think about what is the point of becoming bar and bat mitzvah, what's the point of belonging to a Jewish community and having a Jewish family and passing down all these traditions, it's so that we can look inside and find what's really important about it. It's not about parties, though the parties are fun. It's not about celebrating ourselves, though that is also fun, right? It's not about seeing everyone that we love, actually, though that is one of the most incredible benefits of having one of these bar or bat mitzvah occasions. It's actually about taking ownership of your identity. And I feel like you guys just did that from the beginning of this. And that's how you approached your Divrei Torah, your speech writing with me, was what does this mean for me? What does this Torah portion mean for me and to me? In a way that was really, really, I think, ahead of your age. It was really mature, and it was deeply holy. Here I am in this place, in this very strange world, with a really unexpected set of circumstances. And how do I make this special? And how do I speak to my truth in it? And you guys that's what you've been doing this whole time. And so my blessing for you is that you maintain the holiness that you guys have found in this, that it stays with you as you figure out what it means for you to be a part of the Jewish community going forward, both in this iteration of the world where we're all at home and separate, and when we get to join back in together. So thank you for teaching me, most certainly. And I'm going to call your parents back in. We're going to move that camera a little bit more so that they can be in here with us. And Cantor Sachs is going to come back, and we have the opportunity to give you one final blessing. And this is the blessing that we give to our children at every occasion that we can. But we ask for you to have all kinds of things that we want for you. And most of all, we're going to wish for you that you continue to have peace.
So we bless you with ancient words from the Torah. Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
Asher and Mia, may God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May God's light shine upon you and be gracious unto both of you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom.
And may you have the privilege of seeing God's face in the faces of those that are on the screen with you, that are the faces of those that are around you, of the people that you love. And may you be granted the thing that we wish for you, that your parents wish for you, that your family and your communities wish for you as you go on this journey, and that is the gift of peace. We say together, Amen.
Amen. We continue with the very end of our service now, as we move on to Aleinu and begin to finish the holy work that we have done here today. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We arrive now at a moment of memory. And, we at the beginning of our service, we had a moment where we passed that tradition. We told the story of our tradition and we passed it down from generation to generation. And that's how we conclude as well, by acknowledging those generations that are no longer here with us and that we desperately miss at moments like this when we're all gathered together. And we, in preparation to recite the Mourner's Kaddish, our prayer for those that are no longer with us, our prayer for us as mourners, we think of those in the Shafnos family that Asher and Mia and their families are wishing could be here with them today. And so we are remembering Irene and Luke Kushner, Lil and Maury Shafnos, Ruth and Max Glassman, Mildred and Murray Wardell, all of their great grandparents. And I invite you now, each of you, to think of those that you wish could be here with you as well. And we call all of their names into our minds and into our world as we recite together the ancient words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyamechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach leolam uleomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata ta'amiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrama hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who makes peace on high make peace for all of us and bring comfort to all who are bereaved.
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. And now we come to our closing song. So I am going to invite all of our family back on camera so that we can see this entire beautiful Shofnos family. So grandparents and all of our Torah blessers, come on back onto our screen so we can see you all together. And we are going to sing a song of joy, a song of singing as we celebrate this amazing family and these two tremendous B'nai Mitzvah. We sing Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Let us sing a song of praise to God. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei kol doroteinu. We pray to the God of this generation and every generation that came before us. We say thank you for this opportunity to be together, to gather together. Thank you for the brains that created the technology that allowed us to be able to do this, to celebrate, even though we can't be in the same place physically. We're really grateful. And thank you for Asher and Mia, for your wisdom, for your brilliance, for your maturity, for your beautiful voices, and for all that you have had to teach us and share with us today. We wish you so much holiness and so much growth as you continue on this journey of figuring out who you are and what it means to you to be a part of your family and your community. We cannot wait to see what else you have to bring to us and to teach to us. To all of you, we say thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure to pray with you this afternoon and to celebrate with you. And I'm going to give everybody just a chance. We're going to unmute everyone really quick so that we can all wave and say Mazel Tov.
Mazel
Tov.
Hey guys.
Good job.
Thank you, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.